Welcome to Reality Talk, the number one podcast in South Florida, sponsored by the number one clothing brand in South Florida, Overcome.
All right, and
All
we're
right,
live.
cool.
How we doing tonight? We're over here with Mason, Jason. Oh, look at that, rhyming, and Aiden.
Yeah.
Not rhyming at all.
Not rhyming. These two rhymed.
I feel bad because they don't have headsets. They couldn't hear the intro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have
Yeah.
an intro saved.
I know.
Yeah.
you
We got to
mean-
get headsets for the rest of the podcast crew.
That's coming soon. That's coming
Coming
soon.
Coming
soon,
soon.
yep.
Coming soon.
That's
Coming soon. All right. Yeah, let's. We gotta get headsets.
So what do you guys been up to?
Today we were kind of just figuring out this whole podcast thing. This is episode 1, so there's a lot of learning curves and curveballs with cords and cables and everything like that. Just getting started.
For sure, bro.
So that was.
Lots of Best Buy runs.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Lots of Best Buy
It's been
runs.
like five
Probably
times.
today.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was fun. Ish. I didn't go every time, but yeah. Let's talk about Jason.
Talk
So,
about me.
yeah, let's talk
All
about
right,
Jason,
We want to
so-
talk about. I'm
Introduce
actually-
yourself.
introduce myself. Let's do that. So, Jason Ferrante. For those that don't know me, I'm I'm a certified nice guy. It's what they call me on the streets. But back home, they just call me Jason Ferrante. But born and raised upstate New York, entrepreneur since day one, I could say, in some sense, right? But really since the age of 19, right? Started my own business at 19, which was an Airbnb business. I don't know if I told you guys a little bit about that.
No,
No,
tell
I
us, tell us,
didn't.
tell us.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Let's just start the long story, bro. So, really, I was in college. So I don't know if I told you guys that, but I was in college, and I graduated high school in 2019, and from there didn't exactly know what I wanted to do, but I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I grew up in an entrepreneurial household, right? My grandfather came here from Italy. He owned barbershops, sold that company. It was like a little franchise, sold that upstate New York. Actually, that was in the city, and then they moved upstate New York in Orange County, and from there he got into building houses. Started with one house, right, at a time, and this is back in the day, man. They didn't have any brains
Right.
when it came to financing or stuff like that. They didn't know to go to the bank and get a loan, so they would do this cash, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a slow process at first. You build one house. Next thing you know, they've built over 500 homes in the Hudson Valley.
Nice.
Oh wow.
In upstate New York.
Wow.
And for those that don't know the Hudson Valley, that's the 10 counties north out of the 5 boroughs, right? So north out of Manhattan, they all follow the Hudson River.
Yep.
Right? So you have the Hudson River, then you have these 5 counties on each side, goes up until then there's Albany. And so they did that for a long time. And so kind of growing up with that mindset of, everyone around me, all the men worked for themselves.
Yep.
All the women supported the men, right, at home, raising, kids. My grandmother raising her 3 sons, right, one being my father. And from there, just kind of had that mindset. So coming back to speeding forward to graduated high school, knew I wanted to work for myself, but I wasn't necessarily welcomed to work for my father, right?
Right.
And that was like a weird kind of thing, but I think that was the best thing for me, right? Because then you could actually build yourself up and not just be given things, right? I've met a lot of people that are just kind of given things and they don't have the same appreciation, right?
Yeah.
So I worked for my father for years until graduating high school. But then once I graduated high school, that kind of was done. That was done. And it was like, go figure it out, right? Kind of like, go figure it out. Didn't really know what I wanted to do for that year. I actually fucked around with day trading quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was really good at day trading. I wasn't super profitable, but I, was very, very disciplined with the process. And I think the problem with that, and this is something that I've looked and what's helped me now in the future, is detaching from looking at, the goal being money. If
Right.
if money's your goal, then I think you're just not going to make it as far as you would like to make it. You really, for me, people is my goal.
Yeah, I
right?
like that.
Helping other people, looking forward to having a family in the future. I'm very young, 23, but in my 30s, I'd like to have a family and that kind of shit, right? Real shit. And one of my biggest goals is to be able to actually influence the lives of millions of people, and I genuinely mean it, in a positive manner, right? Whether that means philanthropy, giving money, maybe having a charity at some point, maybe not. Don't really know what that looks like right now, but I do know at this point in time that hundreds of millions of people I have actually entertained to a
Yeah, for
degree,
sure.
right? At
Yeah.
this point. So, that's a good feeling as of now. But yeah, so high school, graduated high school and didn't know what I wanted to do. So had like a gap semester, if you will, then went to college. And I was pre-med in college. I did a program in high school that was sports medicine, and it was sports medicine. And so I was always interested in sports and always interested in the body and all that kind of shit, and nutrition and all that. So it's like, okay, this makes sense. So fuck it, I'll be a doctor. Who just says fuck it, I'll be a doctor?
Right.
Yeah.
It was like whatever, and because obviously I want to make money, so I'm not gonna go get I'm not gonna be a gym teacher. You
Yeah.
know, I want to make some decent money. But then that's a career that you're looking at: 4 years of college, 4 years of
Yeah, because it's a doctor's degree, right?
exactly,
Right. A lot
yeah,
of education.
4 years of medical school,
Yeah.
and then I wanted to go into endocrinology because I was always interested in biohacking.
What's endocrinology?
Yeah, what-
Endocrinology is really like your hormones, right?
Ah.
So, I didn't really necessarily want to help people with their hormone deficiencies, for
Right.
instance, right? Maybe like a thyroid issue,
Okay.
or maybe a woman that has PCOS, post-ovarian cystic syndrome,
Yeah.
stuff like that, or guys that have like low testosterone. Not really interested in helping that, but I was really interested in biohacking because I was in the gym a lot, so I had a lot of friends that were into gear, into steroids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I always thought that was very interesting. Me myself wasn't interested in doing that, but I was always interested in how you can, biohack, right, and have anti-aging kind of substances.
Maybe
and
like stem cells or anything
stem
like
cells,
that.
stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, there's also cosmetic things too, because you can live longer if you biohack with certain supplements or
Yeah.
certain compounds, right? So did that, and then I got into business with my father and my brother in the Airbnb game. We bought a house, and then from there it was kind of like, okay, this is fun, and this is a business that can flourish to something big.
Yeah.
And so we bought a house. Then the same month we bought another house, and we were working on another house too in the same month. And then from there, I decided I was just gonna drop out. Just dropped out, and then me and my brother went into business and focused on not just acquiring Airbnbs and owning them, but also the management side, right, for other investors in our area. So we worked the business up to around 30 properties we were managing, 30 Airbnbs.
Wow.
And that was an interesting business to be in. But due to the relationship that I have with my brother, I kind of wanted out of that business, so I sold that business to my brother, and here I am now pursuing content full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entertainment, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it's something I've always wanted to do since a very, very young age.
Yeah. I wanted to
Just-
ask, how'd you get into that? I mean.
Yeah, actually, so my content journey is very interesting. I actually just archived everything today, but the Jason Ferrante is another Instagram page that I had that I was doing very well on, but I pushed all content regarding Airbnbs and business, right? So there's a lot of business tips, Airbnb, and then every other 2 days I would post a quote, like a motivational kind of quote.
Okay.
That
Oh,
most of
very
the time
cool,
I try
yeah.
to write myself. So that's kind of where I started. It was really just talking head, right? Recording on an iPhone, $20 mic clipped. Eventually got a nice little microphone like this and was doing it for a while, a couple hundred posts on there. But then getting that in that business, it's not fun content to make, if you will, right? Because
Yeah.
I kind of like to, I just want to be me on camera,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And just fuck
yeah.
around, have fun.
Yeah. Just be a
like,
goof.
yeah, be around women, be that guy who's bringing fun to the environment, facilitating fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, what I'm doing right now is very fulfilling. And I think on a long-term basis, it's only going to get even, more financially, we'll be able to financially flourish even more,
Yeah,
but
for
also
sure.
as well as being congruent with the goal, like I said before, which would be influencing, millions of people.
Yeah. I mean, based on your pace, you have done very well for the amount of time you've been doing how would you word it? Short form content?
All
The
short form content.
short form
Yeah, I
content,
did
right?
start with long form. I posted 3 videos. Those you guys will never see.
Yeah, we'll see.
These guys might see them. Maybe we'll pick them apart someday on a pod.
Yeah.
But they're like very, very canceling videos, and they're inappropriate. And I didn't really. I kind of decided that's not the kind of content I wanted to push. It was
Not
kind
the
of a
direction.
bad name. I don't want to get necessarily. I'm not afraid of being canceled or whatnot. But it just was not something that everyone wants to watch. And
Right.
it wasn't a positive message, right? And
Right.
I really preach, pushing content that is, of course, entertaining,
Of course.
but not spewing a negative message, right? Because I think the content that I was pushing at first was just kind of fucking with people in public type of thing.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
yeah, we would like get drunk, bro, and just like go to
Okay,
Times Square, Manhattan, bro.
That's
I'd walk up
great.
to a guy, be like, "Yo, how long you been a virgin?" And that, just fucking with people. Yeah. It was just,
Yeah,
like,
at that
weird.
point you're like asking for like trouble.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We almost got jumped. Yeah, we almost got jumped.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, have you ever had any
Oh
any,
yeah,
any scary encounters?
We've had a lot of scary encounters, and that's not why we stopped. I
Nah.
mean, we're guys, especially my boy back home. The two of us, we're just not guys for fucking with too. We always. But you guys see
Yeah.
how I carry myself now when we go, content filming. Very respectful.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
much
thing
better,
you
much
learn
better.
too, right? Even if you do shoot, content that is respectful, even from the beginning. It's important to know how to approach people because also, if you don't approach them from a certain angle, they might not even just do the interview.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't
yeah.
even matter what you're asking. You could be asking PG questions. You could be asking people what's their favorite color.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you don't know how to approach people, then, and also too, if you're staying in that environment, you want to have respect from everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're going to be taking over that environment. For instance, Fort Lauderdale now, right? I would say that's an area that we're starting to take over. And
For sure.
For sure,
and
yeah,
We're
for
going to
sure.
own that place. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to happen. That's already in the process. But we want, and right now, bro, everybody knows that we're respectful guys, even if they don't know our name right now.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I try to introduce myself to everyone, the bouncers at other clubs that we don't even associate ourselves with, as well as, even the police,
Yeah, of course.
That's a big one.
And you've been working in Miami, right? As well?
Yeah. So
You started moving down that way?
I
down
did start
south?
moving down that way with promoting, right? So actually, not a promoter, right? What did I tell you guys before? A nightlife
Executive
ambassador. Yeah,
ambassador.
executive nightlife ambassador.
Yeah,
executive nightlife ambassador. I actually think I'm gonna switch it over now because executive might, I don't know if the chicks are gonna really get that one. I'm gonna go for chief nightlife ambassador here.
Chief executive.
Exactly. Chief
Like,
executive.
chief-
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I'm
yeah,
the
yeah,
chief
yeah.
executive nightlife ambassador here at Komodo. Boom. And that works, bro, because there was a group of girls actually last night that were just sitting down, finishing up their espresso martinis after dinner.
Ooh.
Yeah, shout out to those.
Yeah.
We know how those are. Talk to me nice. But there was these three broads there. They were pretty good looking girls. They were good enough for VIP. So I was looking at them and I was like, okay, let me just go check in with them and see how their night's going and whatever. And it really comes down to like how you approach people, bro. 'Cause-
What are you
First
wearing?
impressions.
What are you wearing out there? Like.
Oh, okay. What was I wearing normally, bro?
Yeah, when you go out to like Komodo.
Yeah.
and those-
So Komodo, there's really no like crazy dress codes besides no hats,
Okay.
right? But what do I wear? Honestly, just like fucking just pants,
Yeah,
my
nice
my
pants.
Vapor Maxes and a white shirt.
Should definitely pull up in the suit one
Keeping
day.
it
See
I
what,
want to do the suit thing.
Yeah,
see
the
what
suit- that's
how
what I
like
was
people
asking
treat you
because-
differently, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
because when I do approach a table, if I approach a table of people sitting, like normally I'm walking around with my chain out, right? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I don't really normally like to, but it's just kind of like other people do it, so like whatever. So I tuck my chain before I approach a table, and I'm like, hey ladies, how's your night? How's your dinner going? Is everything good? Is there anything you guys need? Oh no, it's been amazing. Where are you guys from? Where are you visiting from? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, so I'm the executive nightlife ambassador here.
The chief.
Yeah, they
executive.
gotta-
Chief,
yeah,
yeah,
there
the
you
chief
go.
executive.
Last night
I like that.
I used the executive
Mhm.
executive nightlife ambassador here at Komodo. I don't know if you guys were interested in coming and checking out our lounge, but I would love to get you guys a drink if you guys are interested, right? And yeah, they were very receptive to that, and they were also receptive to me, being that I'm a G, right?
Yeah,
Like,
of
come
course,
on, you're
yeah.
gonna look at me and not,
Top
you know
G.
what I mean? Like, come
Yeah,
on,
come on.
exactly.
G, top G.
You're gonna look
Top
at
G.
me and like, come on. We ended up. They were from Toronto, and they were actually just talking. We had like a short conversation about Drake.
Oh, okay.
They were like, oh I know this friend that fucked him. I know this friend that fucked him.
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
yeah, I'm like, come on, be honest. If Drake calls you up, DMs you, be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was yeah. So it's been good down in Miami. You meet a lot of good people, man. Like that's why I started to go down to Miami, was really just to make the connections. Really, right?
Yeah.
I personally like Fort Lauderdale better. I just like the people better. But there's more connections to be made in Miami.
In Miami,
There's
for
more
sure,
money.
yeah. More
there's
money in
more
Miami.
money. I just find Fort Lauderdale to just be less hostile. I think Miami's very hostile.
But
Right.
It's more well
A lot of
known
guards
also.
up too. Yeah.
It's like you say from Florida and people think of like Miami. right
Miami,
away.
yeah.
Same,
Right.
You're from New York. You're from the city.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not.
They don't even know what the countryside of New York
No.
is.
They didn't know there was one, bro.
It doesn't
People
exist.
Yeah, people ask
All
me.
the
I'm like,
time.
oh, you're from New York. Which borough or whatever like that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
no, Syracuse.
Where?
Like, that's not New
Where's
York.
Yeah,
I'm like, actually, it is.
Yeah, sorry to tell you. I have so many people say when they ask me where you're from, I say New York. Like, oh, and I'm like, but upstate, bro. Like,
Exactly,
oh,
you have to-
Buffalo. Oh, Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
Bro,
Rochester,
Buffalo.
Buffalo's like real far out
Bro,
there.
people born in Buffalo, they don't make it out of Buffalo, bro.
Yeah, you're
No, they do not.
you're,
You
you're
don't make it
almost
out of
what,
Buffalo,
Michigan, right? What's right there? What is it?
Canada.
Yeah.
Canada.
Niagara Falls.
Michigan.
Well, yeah,
Rochester-
Michigan's not too far
Rochester,
from New York.
Buffalo, it's right there. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like what Jason said, you're not making it out of there.
Yeah.
You're in the streets then, and you're staying there.
For sure. I want to finish your question before about the speed of how fast I've grown so quickly and why I know that is. And sure, I've done it pretty quickly, but then there's also people who've done it quicker, right?
Oh, yeah.
But also most people don't do it this quick, right? I mean, for instance, that girl Bobby, right? I always bring her up as an example, right? No one, like she seems like someone that just came out of nowhere.
Of course,
And
yeah.
she's getting millions
did.
of views on her podcast, on a long form content.
Yep.
Long form content's the hardest content
Yep.
to get views on, right?
Yep.
We all know that compared to short form. Really, at the end of the day, consistency with anything. It doesn't even matter what you do. Consistency and posting as many times as possible. If I post once a day and you post twice a day, you're going to get to the destination twice as fast. Assuming that our content is the same and the same quality. So, you're going to, your content that you're going to post first is not going to be as high quality as far as editing, as far as your interactions with the people, right? But over time, you're going to learn. That's what it is. No one's content is perfect day one. And for those that don't, for those that want to do it, you just got to start, be consistent, and eventually your content will look like mine or will look like someone that is at the top. You got to remember that the people at the top, just because someone's at the top does not mean that they are doing it the best way that it can be done.
Or that they're going to stay there.
Yeah, or they're going to say that, but it doesn't mean they're doing it the best way that it could be done, because like the reason why they're at the top is because they've been doing it longer and they've been consistent, and there's always a way to improve and be better, right? You have to truly believe that and like think that you don't know everything, right? A lot of people think they know everything.
Yeah, don't be.
But you need to understand that you can always be doing something better, and there's other ways to do things as well, and be open to that.
That's true.
I like that.
It's a pretty
like that.
cool, I mean, sum up of like your entire life story, basically, right?
Yeah.
Life story, sure.
Life story,
I mean,
yeah.
of how I guess I'm at this seat right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I'm very appreciative to be here, guys.
Yeah, of course, anytime. I think that we have a couple of topics we actually wanted to cover as just like talking around, just as guys, So first thing, something cool that I thought that we could talk about is paranormal activity. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I have a story, dude.
Yeah,
Like
do you believe in
ghosts.
ghosts?
What do you think? Do you
Tell
guys
me,
believe
You
in
want me to
ghosts?
tell you this story?
Yeah,
Let's see, let's see.
So, my grandparents' house is in Cortland, New York. So, upstate.
Yeah.
And they have an old Victorian home. My dad grew up there all his life, all this stuff. But, like, when I'm saying an old Victorian home, it was made, like, late 1700s, stained glass all over the house. It looks like a haunted house. But there's, 3 stories or something like that to it?
More.
And I'm staying on the top floor. And my brother wasn't living there then, but it was me and my dad staying. And it's probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I look at the doorway, because I was sleeping and I just randomly woke up. So, dude, it's like creepy to just talk about for me, but I see like this figure move across like the doorway. But I'm like, okay, it's nothing. It was probably my grandma or something like that. And then I start hearing like this talking or whatever, and I see this like face like pop in the doorway. I'm like, yo, okay. I like face the other way. I'm ignoring it because if I can't see it, it won't see me type of thing. But not how it worked. So I hear like this rattling in the kitchen, and mind you, I'm like 3 stories up. So it's like if you hear dishes going, it's like it sounds like it's right next to your head. But my grandma wakes me up in the morning, and she's like, oh, I actually asked her, I'm like, hey, did you hear that in the kitchen? Blah, blah. And she's like, no, but it's fine. I'm like, well, what was it? And she's like, it was blah, blah, blah. I don't remember the lady's name. And she's like, yeah, she's a super nice lady, but she lived here, and she passed away in the room that you were staying in like the 1800s.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And she goes, so go up to your room where you were staying and look to the left of the doorway. And there is this like old ass picture of this lady, and that was the lady that was in the doorway. She's like, yeah, we just keep it up here, just like it's her house. Like it was sold, but she built it, all this stuff. I mean, dude, just thinking about it and like really getting in your head, it's like, dude, that shit is so creepy.
Nah, there's no way that's like,
You don't believe in paranormal activity?
I don't know. I don't think I've experienced one enough to know about that.
See, I didn't believe it either. But then I saw that, and I'm like, okay, what else could it be?
I feel like it's only like demons and angels. That's it.
No, I feel like a ghost is somebody who just didn't make it to heaven or didn't make it up there or wherever.
I don't
Well,
know.
It's just
What
something that
I've-
got lost.
What I've heard, because my mother's like into this, I'm gonna call it bullshit.
Yeah, go for it.
Is that if they are a person like that that's down here and hasn't left, it's simply because there's unfinished business. Is
Right.
kind of how it's been worded to me.
I've heard
But
this.
in my opinion, it's all just fucking bullshit, right? I don't like. I just don't put. I guess I don't really care. I guess I could say, right? If you've experienced it, I'm not gonna tell you
Yeah,
didn't see it.
yeah.
I can't tell you haven't saw it, right? Because I wasn't there and I'm not you. But I just don't put any energy or thought much into things that don't benefit me, something like that, right? And also that shit's creepy as fuck. You know,
So you've never.
we've
so
all seen those movies, bro. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
I
you've never
refuse to believe
been-
in it because it's like
It's
I
scary.
don't want to like
Scary shit.
here's the thing. I believe in ghosts.
Okay.
Say you don't, right? If I hear a noise in the middle of the night, right? I hear a noise in the middle of the night. I'm like, I wake up. It wakes me up. I'm like, oh fuck, it's a ghost. It's a ghost. It's a ghost.
Yeah.
It's a ghost. Fuck. You don't believe in ghosts. You hear a thud in the middle of the night, right?
Mhm.
You like this.
Right.
Win. Back to bed. You're done. That's it. You
Yeah.
don't fucking believe it. And that's stolen from somebody. So
That's
I'm
how I act. Yeah.
that's
That's
stolen.
how I
That's a
act.
quote actually stolen from somebody. But that's how it was explained to me. So.
Yeah, that I don't know. So you don't. So you're telling me that if you had woken up, right, and you're like, oh my god, and it was a ghost, like you thought it was a ghost, you would freak out or you wouldn't freak out?
No, I wouldn't freak out nowadays. I probably used to younger for
Like
sure.
if you're sleeping, right, and it's pitch black,
Yeah.
and you're in a home that you've never been in, you're staying somebody where you've never been, right, somewhere you've never been, and the door starts creeping open and there's nobody there, and you start hearing some weird noises. You're telling me you're not gonna freak out?
I feel like I've had experiences like that, but I'm like, negative air pressure, back to bed.
Okay.
But then if you were
okay.
in my position, you do not believe in ghosts, but you see this lady in your doorway. Are you gonna start believing in ghosts then, or are you gonna be like, oh, I'm dreaming?
I don't know. I'm gonna guarantee. I'm
Or
gonna
swing.
convince myself within 5 seconds that it's my
It's-
subconscious making
okay.
up picture.
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm gonna be.
That happens
I'm
though
gonna be
sometimes.
guaranteed.
Like you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
see like in a dark room and then you see like a figure that you
Yep.
swear you turn on the lights and it's like a chair with a jacket on it.
Yeah, you look at
Yeah,
the
your
fucking, look
imagination's
at a cloud. You
playing
think
tricks on you.
you think you see a shark out of a cloud. Like it's just your subconscious,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, trying to make sense of the world you're seeing.
Match things up.
Right?
Yep.
It's pretty interesting, like how your eyes are just interpreting the world around you,
Deceiving,
your physical
deceiving
world.
you. Yeah.
You know, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, as far as paranormal activity, I used to like think about it as a kid, but as you just get older, you don't give a shit about stuff like that. I don't know.
Speaking of things about like being younger, what do you think about the new generation having like access to phones so early on? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a deep question. I mean, we could take that in so many directions. I mean, naturally, I'm just gonna say it. We don't have to take it that way, but when it comes to that, the first thing that comes to me is for men
Yeah.
access to pornography.
Yeah.
Right.
That's gonna be the big.
I think that's a
step.
big it's a big problem now in society that kids are being so exposed so early on to
At a
So
young
young.
age,
to
yeah.
pornography.
So
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. I think personally, it would have been the most beautiful thing in the world if you had the opportunity to have never had access to pornography and then had sex with a girl. Like that would have been absolutely amazing. But I feel like that ruins that for sure. But the bigger piece of it is really not just that, but the bigger piece is that for all those guys now, they're getting all the they're getting the reward of sex without the pursuit, right? So you never
Right.
earned it, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's easier. You're taking the easy route, right? And then they never learn the skills that they need in order to gain the attention of a woman, become more attractive, and then become more confident within themselves and become more successful, right? At the end of the day, like, you know, why do we want more status? At the end of the day, really, it's because you want the highest quality woman to pass your genes on with, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, that's just kind of my take.
I like that. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
What do you guys think? You guys think the same thing?
What's your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on the access to technology at a young age or anything like
But-
that?
The attention span thing too. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, with the new apps of like TikTok and the short form content, right? Like people's
What's going on over there?
people's attention spans are just going down and just being eaten away in real time. Now, I think short form content is amazing because you can learn so much quicker,
Mhm.
right? you have access to information so much quicker. But then you have apps like TikTok, where in America we don't push content that will actually educate you. There's actually a setting within TikTok that I just turned on recently, and that's to suggest on your for you page STEM content.
I've seen
Oh,
that. I've
wow.
seen that. I've
Yeah.
seen that. It's like
Education.
nature and stuff, right?
It's STEM,
Like
right? So
all
you know,
science based.
science-based, math-based, you know. So I turned it on, and if I'm swiping TikTok, I'll swipe that. Like I want to like tell me something about the universe. Tell me something.
Yeah.
Tell me something that I could, you know, maybe use in a conversation sometime later down the line, right? Like something stupid, like it doesn't really even matter. Like something where it's like you're on a date maybe, and you just blow a girl's world. Like, oh my god, he's so smart. I'm like, yeah, I just learned that shit from TikTok. She didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, I just
exactly.
think you're smart. This guy's
Yeah.
smart. Like, yeah, nah, I just learned on TikTok. Like 2 minutes on the car ride.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. That's good.
But the access to pornography at a young age is definitely the biggest thing, you know, for men. Because now, yeah, that's a big thing for men. But how is that affecting women, right? You know, if you have men that are terrible with women, and then you have some men that are good with women, right? So now we're in a situation where there was a study when it came to Tinder, right? Now Tinder's kind of, you know, a hard thing to use because it's all subjective, because it's all pictures and your bio and what you could put on there, right? But on Tinder they found that 80% of the 80% of the women are competing for 20% of the men. So only like 20 to 10 to 20% of the men are getting all the likes. And that's what's happening in real time, like in the world, right? The top 20% of men are getting most of the women, and the bottom 20% of the men are, well, the other 80% of men are just not getting shit. And that's really because most of these men are just not building themselves.
Yeah, they're
Right?
getting lazy.
Exactly. Napoleon Hill said it. Yeah, the most successful people actually use sexual transmutation, as like they whether they do this purposely or naturally is kind of like doesn't really matter. But sexual transmutation is really using your sexual energy for a positive force, right? So I've told you guys I'm in a period right now where I'm abstaining just to be able to focus on my purpose,
Yeah.
right? And using any kind of that energy instead of like fucking spilling it out on your bed sheet or spilling it out on a girl that you're not gonna even put time into, right? And actually marry or look to fornicate with and to have actually kids with. That's just a fucking waste of time. So using that energy, right, to dial in on your business, right? Dial in on your purpose, or to dial in on something that might even serve you better. Maybe that's
Yeah, yeah.
religion for you, or maybe that's school for someone else, right? So that's something that they found though that most successful people naturally will do.
Shout out Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
There you go.
Great book.
That's the book.
Read it when I was younger, but everything's subconscious now, I think.
Mhm.
You know. It's
Is there any
great
other books that you recommend as far as that?
book. I'm not a big reader, you know. I really don't
Same.
read like books like that, but I was snippeting Think and Grow Rich when I was
Okay.
16.
One book that changed my life, like my total life trajectory as far as sexual understanding, intersexual dynamics, and like psychology of women and like biology and whatnot of, you know, replication, I guess, is Rollo Tomasi, The Rational Male. That's definitely a book every man should read, especially a man that doesn't fucking that's like terrible, that's addicted to porn or like horrible with women. They gotta learn that shit for sure.
Oh, what's going on? Technical difficulty? Nah.
No, we're good.
Mm. Yeah,
No,
that's the
sure.
thing with our generation now. I mean, I don't know if this applies to everybody, but it definitely applies to me and most of the people I know. Is books aren't retained like they used to be. You know, people don't really read as many books. They're kind of just
It's because it's
they'll
social
scroll
media.
online.
No, it's also because of ChatGPT. You know, ChatGPT has played a big part into this.
I
Keep-
was
nah.
never very
Because-
educated on ChatGPT, so
I don't think so, because
I don't
like
even
with
know
chat,
what
the
that
problem is with ChatGPT is you would have to have the right question. The thing is, you don't know what you don't know, so
Yeah.
you don't even know what to ask. Like there's still so many things where, you know, I don't even know the right questions, but eventually I'll know the right question and then I can be able to get to the answer. So you never know what you don't know.
right.
You know, so if you don't even know to ask the right questions, you'll never get the answer because you don't know the information.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, that book will definitely change any man's life just so they understand, you know, how, you know, understand the reality of, you know, intersexual dynamics of, you know, why a woman would act a certain way or why a woman is perceiving you in a certain manner, and understanding that that women are, hypergamous in nature. It's let's not turn this pod into a red pill pod, but it's an interesting.
Well, you're our guest, so
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. It's a world that I deep dived into, became very passionate about, but then I decided that now that I kind of know all the information, right? It's just because you read this fucking book too. I want to get that clear about any book you read, no matter if it's Rich Dad Poor Dad, fucking Napoleon Hill, Rational Male. It's all about the application, right? It doesn't fucking matter if you read the book. Like, the reason why I am the person that I am is because I read that book and implemented that shit into my life, right? I learned these certain principles of, say, game with women. I implemented that shit, right? Like, it's literally just the implementation. Same thing. You could read Rich Dad Poor Dad and learn, assets, liabilities, cash flow, all that shit. But if you don't implement it,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, you guys could have talked about having a podcast, you know, 10 years ago, and but I mean, you could have just talked about having a podcast, but instead you guys did
We
it
did it, yeah.
Right.
quick.
It's like the
Yeah,
knowing
really
doing
quick.
gap.
Yeah,
You know?
Take the
exactly.
jump.
It's a knowing
And you
doing
don't
gap.
know what you don't know. So, this podcast here is episode 1, and then in 10 episodes, it's going to be significantly better. And then now you're going to do it for 4 years. Imagine where it's going to be at in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's consistency, like you said in the beginning.
Consistency, because also you're going to learn all the things that you need to learn along the way. You can never
Yeah.
start at the top, for sure.
Yeah. With great risks, reap great rewards.
Exactly. Now, there are certain people that are able to start a pod, for instance.
Well, if you have like the followers on social media already and you have that clout,
Sure.
per se, like you could definitely get there way faster because
Yeah,
you already have an
You have an
audience that
audience.
likes you, you know?
Yeah.
exactly. I think the hardest thing, though, is also just the funding for it.
Yeah,
right?
that's
If
true.
you want, like, I look at Fresh and Fit for an example, right? They started day one with a professional ass studio, right? But
Right.
they had access to some capital, right? So and that's the thing, you not everybody can start at the same point, right? And just because they're at the top of that space that they're in, right, doesn't mean they're doing it the best way it can be done.
Sure. And what's one thing that you think that you can improve on the most? Maybe that you've
Start with
been.
him over here.
Yeah.
What's
one thing?
my what do I think I can improve on the most?
Yeah.
I would definitely say self-discipline, with like just the basic stuff. For example, I have a puppy, right? She's
Oh,
almost a
God.
year old and she still shits inside and she nips and all that stuff. So I got to take her out more often, but I get so caught up in, you know,
Your daily
everything
lives,
else
yeah,
and like
everything else that you're doing.
myself. So it's a big responsibility to take on,
Yeah.
and just being there to make sure she's healthy and happy. And
Eating.
Can I challenge
she
you on
eats
discipline?
plenty. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think you're complacent in some manner? Like, where do you think the discipline? Let me understand the situation a little better. Where do you think your discipline in general? I mean, it's lack of discipline. You're kind of saying, right? A little bit of lack of discipline, right?
Yeah.
So where do you think that's kind of stemming from? Some kind of complacency. Maybe I also think that you'll go through times of complacency when you're not feeling fully on a purpose at the very second, right? I've gone through that.
That's true. Yeah.
I
That's
have
true.
I have a quote. I'm gonna read it to you in a minute, but yeah, where do you think it kind of stems from?
Okay, so honestly, I mean, it really applies to just my puppy and taking her out, making sure that she's getting out to like do her number ones and twos. But it's just a matter of responsibility and just making sure she's being trained, to get that done because I'm so focused on like everything else. But
Yeah.
she's
So
a
really,
living
just
being.
in that sense, then
Yeah, it's
you're not
not-
really
it's-
talking about the other
Right.
aspects of your life.
No, I'm talking about what's
Just that one.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that's where I can pick it apart. So yeah.
You,
Uh,
you pulling up that quote?
I'm gonna pull that up, but Kev, go.
yeah.
Which one thing that I can prove myself on the most? I don't know. Maybe like spending more time, maybe because I think that me and you, Jason, we disagree on one thing, and that's college isn't beneficial. Because I think college is beneficial, but then I heard you tell me one day off camera that like there's a lot of other ways to get like much more money, which is true. It's
Yeah,
true.
I don't think it's non-beneficial because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do think college helped me,
Okay.
but I don't think there's like it's not the end all be all like people think it is to be. Like I don't like especially out here, especially at some of these nicer colleges. Like,
Yeah.
I meet some of these bitches in Fort Lauderdale. They're like, oh, I got a bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. My dad's worth fucking 8 figures, and I don't give it doesn't matter. He went to electrical school. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, so a lot of people put college on like a pedestal. Like, oh, I'm in this college.
Yeah,
I
that's
went to
true.
a fucking shitty community
I do
college
think
that I
that-
commuted to, bro.
Yeah, I do think that like having like a name brand college is just wasting your money at some point because you can be making the same amount of money wherever you go. You
And
know,
also, let me
maybe
s-
some jobs
Yeah,
like
if you want to
like
get
some
into
jobs like like the show Suits, like their firm only accepts applicants from Harvard. You know,
Okay.
so it's the only like it's like the highest firm in the
very prestigious.
yeah it's
Sure.
the highest firm in I don't remember where is it New York? Yeah, in New York.
Well,
And it's the highest firm, but it only accepts from
Yeah.
Harvard. So like in that case, I understand, but like in general, I think that all college is the same.
It also depends on the direction you're going.
Well, that's what I was trying to say too. We should have probably deep dived into that, even though me just shitting on the college thing. I didn't mean to shit on it, but there are most people. I would say like 80% of the kids that go to school are going for degrees that don't mean shit, and they don't need a degree for at the end of the day, or like
That's true.
or you're pursuing something that's absolutely useless. But also, here's the thing: 99% of like, why is there a 1%? Right? That means that there's 99% of people that just are not built to work for them fucking selves. Right? But I'm in that mindset where I'm not really interested in working for someone else at all.
Right.
Right? It's just not the world I was growing up in. And it's like there's certain degrees that are very useful. Right? Like you want to be a lawyer? Okay, you need to go to college.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to be a doctor? Okay, you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta be a
fucking
doctor.
college.
Imagine a
You wanna
doctor
be-
without
Exactly.
a degree.
I want the doctor that went to fucking Harvard medical
Yeah, yeah,
school.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
I want the guy. Then there's motherfuckers that go to school for fucking communications, liberal arts,
Right.
right?
Yeah, that's
Or go to business school or to get a business degree, but they don't know anything about business. They're not even starting a business while in school.
they're not thinking about it at all. They're just
look
trying
at
to get a
yourself.
degree.
It's a
What
flyby.
aren't
You
you?
gotta pay
I'm a
attention.
business major,
Yeah,
but
you're
I have
business major,
I
but
have
you
a
have
vision.
a business.
I have a
You
vision.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you literally have a business.
Shout out Overcome Clothing.
Exactly. But you literally have a business. A lot of these kids that I meet are going to school, going to get a business degree, and most of the time, I'm sure it's a common thing, right? That people that are getting a business degree are like the kids. It's like they don't know what the fuck they want to do, type shit.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the kids that like don't know what they want to do, right?
Right.
And then also the big problem too, I think, is you get a lot of females that are going to school for psychology, but they're just gonna get the 4-year degree and like. What? Like, I think that shit's stupid. That's a whole nother topic, though.
What are they gonna do? What is even psychology for? Like,
It's
what do
like
you?
some kind of social worker, which they don't make dick, right? They don't make shit. Like,
Sadly.
honestly, as a woman, I'm just gonna say it straight out. You should just focus on being a good
As a
woman and
woman?
finding a
Oh.
good man. That's it. Like, if you want, like, if you're at least a 6 and up, right? Even if you're not as attractive, but you should just focus on becoming a good woman who's submissive and willing to serve a man and make his life easier and raise a beautiful family. Because I think at the end of the day, for a woman, that's going to be the most rewarding thing, looking at all the children that have stemmed from you.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
not a
that's pretty
woman,
good.
so I can't 100% speak on that. But I think from my life experience, that's what I've seen has been the most beautiful thing. If I take my grandma and she's in the room with our whole family, there could be, we don't have a huge family, but I'm trying to think.
3
kinda quickly.
generations
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I mean, there could be 30 people in the room that stemmed from her at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right? 30 people stem from this one woman. That's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah, that is.
But
For sure.
let me read that quote really quick about the about discipline and being
Audio
complacent.
picking up. Good, right?
Audio's good. So, really, this is stolen from Alex Hormozy, but failure leads to learning, learning leads to success, success leads to complacency, complacency leads to failure. So it's a cycle, right? So, it's this at this point in my life, I've been able to kind of be on an upward trajectory consistently for a long time now. But it's always everyone sees on Instagram the guys flexing the Lambos, this and that, but no one saw the 20 years it took for them to get
Yeah,
there.
to get
Right.
there.
The failures. Then no one saw
course.
the 10 businesses they tried to do in the beginning and then they fucking fail, right? So, it's not and it's also programming. right? That's why I only hang out with specific people. That's why I literally follow like 100 people on Instagram, because there's everything that you do is programming your brain for the future of who you want to be. And I think I've reaped, the benefits of the last couple years of programming my own brain within the last 3 months now, because I've been the most consistent, right? A lot of people go through complacency. Everyone thinks that success is like this, right? No, success is like this.
6 stocks.
And then eventually you get there, right?
Yeah, with consistency.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
everyone's game's going to be different, right? But everyone has their own journey. You're not in a race against anyone except for time in itself. You're
Yeah.
not anyone specifically. Unless you want to be.
What are your thoughts, Aiden, on
What was the question? I didn't even answer the fucking question.
you
One thing that you
we
can
didn't
improve
get
on
to
the
you
most.
with the discipline, or with the what you think you can improve on in your personal
I
life.
think it's just like self-discipline, honestly, because I just let a lot of shit just fly by. And I
Right.
don't really think about it. So I don't know. It's just like
What specific aspects? Like where are you lacking in discipline? Because
like a lot of things, like relationships or health, anything really. It's like I'll just go do like stupid shit, and it's like doesn't benefit me at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't know,
Like go
relationships.
waste
Living in the high
Mason's
life
gas.
right now.
Yeah, I am living in the high life right now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just just having self-discipline for myself, really.
Take
I'm
the car
starting up a
and
business soon.
take the car and burn his gas.
Well, I pay for that gas sometimes too. So.
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah.
He contributes sometimes.
But no, like I'm starting up a business in California, and like I can't be doing the shit that I do now
Right.
there.
You gotta
like,
work
at
it
all.
out. You gotta work it out before
Yeah.
you get out there.
And I was gonna ask you about it, but like part of the business is Airbnbs, and like I have no idea how to run an Airbnb.
That's fine, bro. That's why I'm here.
And it's just like I don't even know like what questions to ask about it, just because it's so new. Like yes, my mom's been running Airbnbs for years and stuff, but like I never asked her about it.
But what's good is you're so open to
No, I am. I've
wanting to
always
learn
been.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, that's the mindset you need to have, honestly.
Mhm.
to
And
succeed.
confidence too. You
You
just
need to
gotta
have,
be confident.
yeah,
going
confident and have an open
Like I
mind.
have confidence, but like, and also a thing that we were talking about earlier was technology at a young age.
In. Right.
I'm in love with my phone. Like I'm always like my face.
Yeah,
is on
aren't
my
we
phone.
all? We're always.
But like
we're always
when
on
I
our
was
phone.
younger, when I moved to New York,
It's the thing you learn.
cyberbullying, all the time.
You would?
No, I wouldn't. I would get bullied.
Bro.
So you were
wanna see
cyberbullied.
my DMs, bro. I get
No,
death threats.
my-
Yeah,
it was
imagine
bad.
the
But
bigger
no,
the audience.
That's the thing too. That's the thing too. Is you have a really big audience, so you know to block that out.
It's micro.
I was playing lacrosse in New York on the varsity team as a freshman. I was the youngest kid on the varsity team, and I had teammates that like I had to treat like family because like
Not even that. Sorry to cut you off, but you were the minority as well.
I
You
definitely
know that
was.
for the first time ever.
But like I don't know. It's just
Back that up. Why were you the minority?
because I went to a 90%
Native American, right?
school.
Yeah.
So and lacrosse originated from the Native Americans, and that's like it's their sport, and I played it with them.
You gotta respect.
I was
it.
just on the side, and I had to respect it, and you don't get in anybody's way, nothing like that. But also, you're there to do the same exact job. I mean, like I was there to get a state championship, and that's what happened that year. But even though I had a ring on my finger and other people didn't, they would still say, it's just like go kill yourself, all this stuff. And I'll be brutally honest, like I've tried it, all this stuff. I went to the hospital, all this, but I had to really tell myself like, and it's preached throughout the whole entire world, like you are who you hang out with.
Right.
And I was hanging out with shitty people at the time too, so it's just like I had to switch everything up, and that was like super hard. But I don't know, it's just like not taking in everything so seriously. Like doesn't have to be. Like you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
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 Of course.
I think the biggest thing that's all men should adopt is just having an iron mind, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
But you're not born with an iron mind.
no, you're not born.
Yeah, you
That's
have to
why. That's
sharpen
why.
it.
You gotta work
That's
on
why
it. You
I've
have to
told you that
sharpen
I've been programming my own brain for years now, and I'm really starting to reap the benefits within the last 3 months. And really, leave that emotional shit to the women, bro. Leave that emotional shit. Like you're not supposed to be happy. You're not always supposed to be happy. You're not always gonna be happy, right? Because now, like, you're not supposed to be happy. You're gonna be sad, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like nothing literally matters, right? All that fucking matters is that you stay on your purpose. You wake up every day as a man. You do the fucking work you're supposed to do, right? You say you want to go to the gym every day. Okay, you go to the fucking gym every day, right? You look at things like everything is life or death, right? I mean,
it's your last day.
yeah, I mean, like, just this is the man I am. Like, what does Jason do? Jason's the guy who fucking works out. Jason's the guy who's not afraid to walk up to any bitch that he wants to. Jason's the guy who's very respectful to everyone, men and women, right? Jason's the guy who's gonna post every single fucking day to the highest quality that he can, right? Jason's the guy that fucking, you know, it's just like, you see what I'm trying to say though? Like, you say I'm this guy that does this because, right? You know, you look at an Aiden right now. You're Aiden 1.0, and then there's Aiden 2.0. What does Aiden 2.0 do? Well, Aiden 2.0 always wakes up on time. Aiden 2.0 brushes his fucking teeth before he goes to bed, right? He always fucking works out.
Makes his bed.
Maybe he makes his bed, right? That, like, you don't have to do all that, but yeah, he always does these certain things, right? And you decide, like, you know, where you want to be, right? And the easiest thing is to align yourself with someone else, right? So someone that you might look up to, and this could be multiple other people, then try to emulate that person, right? So, you know, you look at somebody who's successful in business. Like, who do you look up to, bro? Like, as far as business, or, you know, who's a maybe a public figure that you look up to specifically?
You know, it's not even somebody who's like famous or anything. It's actually my mom, because my mom has like such a positive and good mindset, even though I do not agree with things that she says sometimes, and that's part of the reason why I moved to New York. But in the long run, I noticed, like, I need to fucking be like that. Like, I need to not give a fuck what some people say, and I need to focus on myself and the people who I care about, people who I love. And if I'm doing something, and same with my brother, if he has something on his mind, like this podcast, okay, so I want to start a podcast, he's going to start it. Like, there's no, like, oh, maybe. So, like, that's what I've always looked up to also, and that's the thing with, like, self-discipline. It's like, if I want to do something, I have to follow up with that.
Yeah.
You gotta be a fucking robot, bro. Like, it's just,
Honestly.
This is what I do. And also, the biggest thing, you and I had this conversation in private.
Right.
The most important thing is being a man of your fucking word. Because what do you really have? That's all you have.
Yeah, that's all you
All
have.
you
That's all
have.
you got is your
have to be
word,
a man of your word.
self-integrity.
And it's not about being a man of your word just to other men and other and women as well, but being a man of your word to yourself is the most fucking important. Because if you say, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna hit the gym today. All right, I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna, like, for instance, let me go back to like my phases of after reading the book and learning more game with women, right? And I hate that fucking word, but you know, I'll go out to the club sober, no nicotine, no drinking. I go and get a fucking seltzer. I look like I'm drinking, right? And okay, tonight I'm gonna talk to 20 women minimum, and I'm a man of my word. So what am I gonna do? Be a bitch, right? Okay, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna hit this weight on bench press. Okay, what am I gonna not do it because I'm a little bit tired? Doesn't matter how you're feeling. Doesn't matter if you're sad, happy, sick, whatever the fuck. I'm a man of my word. This is what Jason does at the end of the day. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that should be very inspiring to a lot of men out there, men and women. But
For sure.
Yeah.
Even for women, man. I mean, women, like, they need to hold themselves accountable as well.
Of
Right?
course.
You know, everybody does.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, especially when it comes to, like, a big thing is, you know, fitness goals, which could align with everybody, right? Because everyone wants to be more attractive at the end of the day, right? But most people aren't going to put themselves in the position to
Get more attractive.
to become more attractive due to like, oh, I'm so unattractive now. Maybe I've gained a lot of weight within the last 10 years because I was living a shitty lifestyle, and this could be men and women. But, you know, okay, now I want to change my life. But, you know, okay, what do you have to fucking show up every day.
Yeah, you have to have the mindset for it.
Yeah,
You gotta
it
have a
ain't
goal.
fucking hard either. Like, people want to make shit hard. Like,
Right.
it's something as simple as wanting to lose weight. Okay, eat less and move more. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to
Yeah.
go to the gym. Go for a fucking walk and eat less. That's it. It's
Or
not
eat
it's not
healthier.
that hard. Yeah,
Or eat healthier, yeah.
Calories in, calories out at the end of the day, man. Like, if you're eating
that
3,000
grease
calories
out,
now and you're
you know.
fat, then you should probably just eat 2,000. and see how your body responds. You know,
Yeah.
same thing with business. You guys want to start a pod? What'd you do?
Got it
Right,
done.
yeah.
Started
Yeah,
a pod.
me and Mason have always been like that. We've been very impulsive on making decisions, but like decisions that like most people would like stick to like I don't know, like only like one person would do it. You know, we're like jacks of all trades, you know?
Yeah.
Like we've tried almost everything. We've done fishing, you know, and we've kind of tried to master it, you know, to the point where like it's become boring some source, you know what I mean? And then that's when we realize, maybe it's not for us, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, so I posted on my story the other day that very important question, which I just genuinely wanted to know what other people think. Right? How long after starting something new do you decide it's time to give up?
Yeah.
Right? And I was very disappointed with the results, and because for me it's years, right? I've been in business for years, and I've failed at businesses. I've done successful business. I've failed with relationships, right? And you can't decide like within a week that content's not working.
Well, a week is a little short.
Yeah, I know. You can't decide within months. You can't decide, you know, within even 1 year of doing a podcast that okay, this isn't working,
Yeah.
right? You need to literally take
Give it
years.
time, yeah.
You need like, for instance, for my content, right? I'm not gonna give up until I'm not gonna ever say this is not working until 5 years.
Well, there has to also be like a significant growth, or not even significant, like a little growth for you to want to keep going. Because if you're, let's say, if you make a new phone, let's say, all right, if you want to launch a new phone, it's called the Pair, just so, all right, it's called the Pair. If you want to make a new phone and you have that idea, you make it, whatever, and you go to start selling, let's say a year goes by, 2 years go by, and you only sell like 2 or 3 products because everyone else wants Apple, everyone else wants Samsung, you know? Like that's a business you can't really get into.
Well,
So
you
that
make
like
smarter
you have to
decisions.
think about that. Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't ever do that, right? But
Why not?
let me tell you, okay, let's stay with
People
the phone.
do though.
Let's stay with the phone idea. Okay. I mean, I think it would be retarded to launch a phone business being a nobody, right? I think it'd be
Yeah.
fucking retarded, right? You're literally fucking nobody. But guess what? The Rock fucking starts a phone business. Guess how many units he's selling the first day?
The
Bro,
Rock?
The Rock. He's gonna sell $1 billion fucking the first day. 24 hours.
He has a phone
No.
business?
No.
Oh.
Hypothetically speaking.
Let's back this up. Who's in competition right now with Gatorade and crushing it?
Yeah, we got Prime Energy
Prime.
Why?
or Prime.
Because of Logan Paul.
That's it. Who
Yeah.
who
It's a big
who,
name.
who can sell the fucking like why does fucking what's the fucking fighter, the MMA guy, the Irish guy?
Oh,
Took
McGregor.
his shit. Yeah, that
McGregor.
guy. Yeah, that guy says
and
that.
he has the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
His alcohol
He has
brand?
Proper 12.
Proper 12. There
alcohol.
you go. Proper 12 Irish whiskey. The
Proper
reason
12.
why, like, go ahead, start up a fucking alcohol brand. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Even
I
if
can't
it's the
start
best,
it,
even if it's
right?
the best alcohol on
You
the
got
planet.
you got to have that audience and status, bro. If like look at Kylie Jenner's the number one, bro. She's a G. She's amazing what she does, right? Why is she able to sell fucking Skim? Wait, Skim, right?
No, that's
No,
that's Kim.
Okay,
Kim.
same shit. Whatever. I don't know.
Kylie has that
They're
makeup
all the
brand.
same people.
Kylie
Yeah, they
has
got a
the
makeup
brand.
brand, right? I don't know, but like, why can she sell that?
Because
Because it's her. Why are people buying it? It's her, right?
Right.
Why are people buying the fucking tequila that The Rock has? Because it's The Rock, right?
has
So,
tequila?
right, you like at the end of the day, you know, that's kind of what I like about building your status on social media because, right? Because, you know, here I am thinking too, right? Okay, I'm pushing this kind of content, but in reality, in 5 years, am I going to be asking motherfuckers like rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? No, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not.
You're gonna be asking
right?
them rate me on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, no. But no, eventually, what you do is you're using that audience to build a business.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because think about it, like, is The Rock gonna act forever? He could. Say he doesn't want to though. You don't fucking have to.
Right.
I mean, financially, he doesn't have to do shit. But
Well, he's ventured out into
sure,
making
but
other
he has.
products.
You build these businesses like
makes
you
a
can't
good
fight forever.
songwriter,
For sure, can't
too.
fight forever. So Proper 12, right? He can't fight. He can't fight forever, right? But now he has Proper 12, right? Which is like $1 billion company, multi-billion-dollar company.
Well, I believe that if you want something, you'll get it done, right? If you really want it, you'll get it done.
You have to have that drive.
You have to have,
want it.
you got to be hungry. You know, you got to
It's
have
called
that
drive, it's
grit.
called power.
You got to
It's a
have
different
drive.
world now, man.
If
But
if
it's-
you want to start up a phone company, right? Just like anybody else did, and they were a no name, right? In the beginning of their, yeah. So what? Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs. He's Microsoft or Or
I don't know.
Yes.
Who
No,
that,
yes.
Yeah, Microsoft. Steve Jobs.
No, Steve Jobs is Apple,
Apple,
bro.
Apple.
No, Bill Gates, that piece of
Bill
shit,
Gates.
is fucking
Okay,
Microsoft.
so we got Steve Jobs
Fuck
with
that
Apple.
guy.
We got Steve Jobs
Yeah,
with
get
Apple,
your vaccine,
right?
double him.
He was nothing before.
Double and give
He
it to
was
the
a
next
nerd.
person.
He was a nerd, was he not?
Who? Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
He was a nerd.
Yeah, he was a nerd. And he
Yeah,
ended up
every
building
person
Fucking
that's like
geek.
that. Every person that's like that is a nerd, bro. Elon Musk is a nerd.
Yeah, but look, he ended up getting it done because he was hungry.
It's
Yeah,
a different
and
world,
did
bro.
it.
Well,
But it's a
because-
different world.
world, bro.
Back then there
That
wasn't
shit
that
didn't
technology. Yeah, back then there wasn't that technology. You just had to be the first one to find it.
Well,
Now-
That's also applying to today.
Yeah, but
Because
like
you gotta
what's
think that
like
we're
what's there to do
always
now?
progressing.
Now you can only cure cancer. Like that's like the biggest like mission now.
Nah.
That's the biggest mission.
No, there's
you
a
have to
lot.
think
There's a
about
lot more
Tesla
out there
also
that you
with
can
Elon
do.
Musk because it started.
That shit didn't exist.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's true.
It
That was a
started,
couple, yeah.
and nobody heard
nobody
about
knew
it.
about it.
Right?
Something like that. I don't even know because
The
it wasn't
Roadster.
big then.
The Roadster, but that was like in 2004 or something, right?
Yeah.
Sure,
I don't fucking
but you
know.
didn't know about it then, and then
Well,
something
I wasn't even born then.
dramatic. Something dramatic happens with his company, and now it's one of the biggest cars out there.
Yeah.
Because he wanted that, he had that drive to get it out there, and I mean, now the guy's a nut.
It's a
but-
different world, though. Social media.
You think Elon's a
didn't give you
nut?
access to sell those kind of things.
Do you know what his children's names are?
Yeah, but
Transformer,
Yeah,
there's nothing
it's
wrong
like
with being
Autobot.
different.
mechanical engineer,
I
whatever
mean,
his name
in order
is.
to be very successful, you have to be fucking crazy.
Of
Right?
course.
Like,
Kanye.
just in general, though, like
Yeah,
in order,
Kanye.
Thoughts on
in
Kanye?
order to become successful, right? You need to be crazy. Like what's the people say this shit all the time. Like, what's the definition of a psychopath? Someone that does the same thing over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
And expects a different result. You literally just need to be crazy. You need to be a fucking psychopath in order to think that like social media or your business, right? Like certain things, right? Like you just need to be fucking crazy. I think in order to be to be an entrepreneur, you need to be fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's so unlikely for you to actually become successful. It's so unlikely, right? And there's so many fucking people that just give up their lives to think they're gonna become an entrepreneur and then fucking fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't answer the question. I don't think what I could do to be better
Yeah.
right now. I had a fucking answer, but that shit's gone. I think. What I could do better. Oh, is delegation. Is delegation of work. As far as like right now, I'm still editing my shit because I'm just a perfectionist. I'm really good at editing from what I fucking think. Anyone wants to give me critiques, please do it to get better. However, I just can't find someone that just has that fucking vision of what I have, right? Just
Yeah.
that creativity, bro. Something so simple. I gave it to an editor the other day to do some testing for me just to see what he can come up with. And I gave him a video. It's very simple. Rate this girl, rate this girl, rate this guy type shit. And in the one set that I was talking to the girl, one interview, I said, rate this girl, and then she rated her, and then rate yourself. She said 11. And I said to her, like the club? And she's like, yeah. So even something as small as like the guy that edited it didn't even he wrote the number 11 and didn't spell it out like the club spells it out, like E11
Right.
Evan, right, even whatever, right? Like that's so you can't do that. Like you're not creative enough to think of that. I literally just said like the club. She says yes. Spell it the fuck out. Like I can't find like creativity is very very hard to find, right? You can find a lot of people that are robots, do this, do that, but someone that has a vision that's going to align with yours is very, very fucking rare.
Yeah.
So
Right.
for me, delegation, finding, people that can do certain things for me, I was really good at that when it came to my Airbnb business, when it came to, most people don't know that. I owned an OnlyFans business in case you guys didn't know. I think you guys knew that. But when it came to that, I was very good at delegation, but with this right now, it's kind of hard.
You want to talk about that? The OnlyFans
Talk about it another time.
Yeah,
Another
we'll talk
time?
about it another time.
episode 2?
It's another episode, yeah. All right, well, thank you so much, Jason, for joining us on this live.
Yeah, it was
I
really
mean, it's
fun.
been
It's a blast.
an awesome experience for sure. Yep.
Picking your brain.
Thanks for having
Good.
me, bro.
Of course. All right. Cool.
All right, well, we'll catch you guys on the next one. I mean, whatever we do, episode 2 coming soon. We're
Amen.
gonna have a different guest. Maybe we'll bring him back.
Yeah, we'll have
Sure,
plenty of
sure.
guests on this podcast coming to the future. It's just so much more to come. There's
Yeah.
so many ideas and reality talk, right?
Reality talk.
Talk about what's
Yes,
real.
sir.
It's not
Going
messed
on.
up. It's reality talk.
There you go.
Valid.